Okay, so today we're going to be reviewing how to multiply and divide fractions in mixed numbers. In my opinion, multiplying and dividing fractions in mixed numbers is actually easier than adding and subtracting. So when we're multiplying, if we have the problem 1/4 times 2/5, you simply multiply straight across. When you're multiplying, you don't need a common denominator in order to multiply. You're getting a common denominator when you multiply. So you multiply straight across, and you're going to get your new fraction. 1 times 2 gives me 2. 4 times 5 gives me 20. Now, this can be simplified by dividing each by 2, and I get 1/10. But both are correct answers. One is in simplest form. The 1/10 is in simplest form. The 2/20 is the correct answer, just not in simplest form. So let's look at another problem. Let's go with 4 sevenths times 2/3. Multiply straight across. 4 times 2 gives me 8. 7 times 3 gives me 21. There's nothing that divides evenly into both 8 and 21, so that is my simplest answer. Now, some of you know how to cross-cancel. We're not actually going to go over cross-canceling in this video, but cross-canceling helps on many problems. If we take, for example, the top problem, when we're cross-canceling, you would look and you would say, okay, what divides into 2 and 4? Well, I can divide both 2 and 4 by 2, and that's going to give me a 1 on top and a 2 on the bottom when I divide by 2. As long as I'm dividing by the same number, it will keep the fraction the same. So then I would multiply across. 1 times 1 gives me 1. 2 times 5 gives me 10. It just saves a step in simplifying. But if you don't know how to do that, it's no problem. You don't need to know how to cross-cancel in order to multiply. Okay, now let's look at this with mixed numbers. It's just as easy. You just need one additional step. Let's go with 2.5 times 3 1/3. So when we're multiplying, the only additional step you need is changing them into improper fractions. So when I'm changing 2.5 into improper fractions, I multiply the denominator with the whole number. 2 times 2 is 4. Add the numerator. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2 times, this side is 9, 10 over 3. Then I'm just going to, again, multiply straight across. 5 times 10 is going to give me 50. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. Now, this is the correct answer, 50 over 6. That is the right answer, but we need to simplify it, and so I'm going to divide. Anytime the numerator is larger than the denominator, I'm going to divide to get a mixed number. So I'm going to divide simply 50 by 60, numerator by the denominator. 6 doesn't go into 5, it goes into 50 8 times, and you get 48. Subtract, you're going to get a remainder of 2. So 2 goes on top, denominator always stays the same. So 2 6, 8 and 2 6 is my answer. Again, this is the same thing as 50 over 6, but it's made into a mixed number. Now, as many of you might be thinking, we can simplify this even further because both 2 and 6 are even, so we're going to divide these by 2, get 1/3, and so my final answer in simplest form is 8 1/3. Now, again, all three of these are correct answers. You got the 50 over 6. That is a correct answer. You got the 8 and 2 6. That is a correct answer. You got the 8 1/3. Also a correct answer. Just 8 1/3 is in simplest form. Okay, now let's look at division. Division, again, only has one additional step. So let's go with the problem 2/3 divided by 1/4. And if we remember, the big important word for dividing fractions is the word reciprocal. You multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So you basically just rewrite the problem. 2/3 times, and then the reciprocal of the second fraction is 4 over 1. You flip the second fraction upside down. Then you just straight multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. It's an improper fraction because the numerator is larger, so I'm going to divide 8 by 3. 3 goes into 8 twice. you're going to get 6, subtract, and you're going to have 2 left over. 2 2/3 is your answer. Okay, so really the only step you have to do here is the multiplying by the reciprocal of the second fraction. 1/4 becomes 4/1. All right, now let's look at that one last time with mixed numbers. Let's go with 2.5 divided by 1 3/4. So we're dividing here. We, just like we did on multiplication, need to make it improper. So these fractions improper are going to be 5/2. Divided by, keep the divided by twice, okay? Divided by 4, 5, 6, 7/4. Now that they're improper, meaning that the numerator is larger than the denominator, now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So I'm going to go 5/2 times 4/7. Now, many of you, again, are thinking I can cross-cancel this. We're not going to, although if you know how to do that, that's great. But 5 times 4 is going to give me 20. 2 times 7 is going to give me 14. Again, the numerator is larger, so I'm going to divide 20 by 14. 14 doesn't go into 2, it goes into 20 once. You get 14, subtract, you're going to get 6 6/14. So my answer is 1 6/14. That is a correct answer, but it's not in simplest form. So I'm going to divide both of these by 2 and get 3/7. And so my final answer in simplest form is 1 3/7. Hopefully that helps. Remember, when you're working with improper fractions or mixed numbers, you got to make them improper, just like we did in this problem. When you're working with division, you're multiplying by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Okay? Hope that helped. Good luck on the test tomorrow.